Hello, and welcome to Week 7 of the Legends Amateur Series Draft League. Tonight we got a big show for you because it's the return of the Phantoms. They're back. We get to see them back on stream and kicking some butt again. Some new faces we're going to see. Our casters will fill you in on some of the changes, but it's basically a whole new team coming at you right now. And Outlaw is also making some big moves in the trades. If you guys were paying attention in the Discord, lots of crazy stuff going on. And yeah, you can see a little production value added to Gur's stream. You know it, baby. Only the best here for you guys at Legends Esports. We are about to get going soon, guys. We're just getting everything in order here. It looks like we have our players. It looks like we have our casters. But yes, 2 games tonight. Phantoms taking on the Outlaws in game number 1. In game number 2, we get to see the Phantoms again. But this side, they're flipping over to the red side and have to deal with the Vipers on the blue. So, a couple of big games for you guys tonight. Don't forget about our lovely merch that we got going on. You can check that out in the link I just sent you there. Beautiful. Look at that in chat. Excellent, guys. And tonight, since it is your boy Gurf here and we want to have some fun with things too, we're going to be using the tokens. We're going to be doing our predictions tonight, so I will have those running. Our casters will announce those predictions when they are open, but make sure to get those tokens ready. You can check how many you have and that you're actually registered in the system by using command tokens. If you need a reminder, command how to play or command legends tokens will also give you a little reminder when I'm not there, but I'll put them in chat if needed. There's it'll be fun. But there's also a couple other things. We're going to do a couple raffles in between this game and at the end of the stream. And there's also the secret code out again. It's in a couple places in the stream. If you get it, use the command that you see. Use the command that you see. You'll get a whisper. Don't put the message in chat. Put it in the whisper. Send it in the whisper to me. I'll reply back, and if you get it right, you'll see the points in chat added to you. With that, though, guys, I think we are good to hand it on over to the casters. Anything else there, Flip Trick, that I'm forgetting? Off the top of my dome? Off the top of the dome? I don't know. Yeah. I think we're good. So, guys, why don't we pass it on over to our casters? Joining us new tonight is Diatropa from XLN's Esports. I want to say I'm sorry. Please correct me when you come on the mic. But yes, kick-ass play-by-play caster. Joining us too is Ayanami Ray. So lovely pair, a duo we've got here tonight, and can't wait to hear from them. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to them, and we're going to jump into this pick and ban soon. So guys, I will see you back here after game 1.
Thank you so much for the pass, Gurf, and welcome everyone to the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am joined by Ayanami, also Gavin. I think I'm going to flip-flop between them for now, because I haven't really decided which one feels more personable, but it's our first cast together as well. It's kind of an evening of firsts for us, and very much sort of lasts for these teams. Phantoms and Outlaws are our lower-ranked teams of the evening, and it doesn't feel like Phantoms have a whole lot going for them as we move towards playoffs, but really can sort of play spoiler to Outlaws, and Outlaws certainly looking to improve their position with a possible win here.
Yeah, I'm also really excited because, as mentioned before, the Phantoms do have a brand new lineup, and it's someone, I believe it's Brave Carcass. He was on the Outlaws before, but he got traded to the Phantoms when they were doing their whole new rebuild. So this is going to be really fun to see who in this grudge match is going to come out on top.
Yeah, it's one of those like double lift situations where you trade him away and then he comes back with a vengeance. It's what I'm hoping for, right? But at the other side, I mean, I like the amount of red that we have on the map so far. There are I think at least 3 players right now that have red in their name. So I'm going to be referring to them by everything other than red. We have a red wheelbarrow and tainted red in the bot side of Outlaws, as well as red Yuki on the other side on the Phantoms. So for the most part, I'm going to be avoiding the word red unless it's referring to the side, because as soon as I was prepping, I was like, this is going to be a disaster. I don't know how they're going to know who I'm referring to.
I already know I'm gonna have a tough time with that, because I remember last time I casted Outlaws. I had I had a big mental oof when it came to talk about wheelbarrow or tainted. So
And actually, now that we should be getting into the draft relatively soon, I kind of want to talk about the way that the teams have been playing, because obviously Phantom's totally new roster, right? But on the other side of this, Outlaws have actually been around here for a while, and while they have changed, they haven't changed everything about the roster, and I expect their playstyle to be pretty similar. I felt like last week they were playing a little bit outdated. They went with the Senna Zillion. And I feel like that wasn't really a good look for them. Now they have Brave Carcass, maybe looking to upgrade their ADC into somebody who feels more comfortable on those carry champions. I'm looking for them to try and play through bot lane, and for that to be really demonstrated in the draft here.
Speaking of playing through bot lane, looks like the Phantoms did ban Caitlyn, even though they are blue side. That could have been a very easy pick for them and could have had a very easy time in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I mean, the Caitlyn priority, along with the Morgana that was just taken away by the Phantoms, I think speaks to the fact that they don't want to be dictated to. Caitlyn Morgana, even though you won't necessarily play through the lane, is just going to give you auto pressure, and I really like that they've chosen to take that duo away for now, because it's going to give them the options to play through that lane, as opposed to be perma pushed in.
If we see on the side of Outlaws, they did ban the Warwick. Warwick is probably I believe he's my most mastered champion. And that's also a very big takeaway, because even with Warwick's passive, you can still see their position with the blood trail.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of an odd ban in the competitive scene specifically, just because in coordinated play, Warwick tends to be a lot easier to peel. The Swain, I think, is a really interesting ban as well, because he's also not somebody that we see too often, although is very powerful and brings a lot of burst in the support position. So I'm really wondering, as I get to know these players, who these bans are directed at. Obviously, we can assume the Warwick is a jungle ban, but for the most part, I'm actually wondering whether the Swain and even the Malzahar, who they're directed at.
It might be directed as a Malzahar top ban, because that has been making a comeback that I've seen anyway. And we also see the Phantoms did ban out Echo, and first time Sona has been practicing more attack-heavy mid laners, and he's been doing great, considering his main position is support.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that they take away something that they've been practicing, right? Because it means that the more practice that an individual puts in on it, the more that Outlaws are expected to be able to play around it as a team. And so maybe having to pivot to something they're not as comfortable on, where on the other side of the map, now we see Phantoms, they've grabbed themselves the Ashe. Commonly, what I want to say counter or answer to the Caitlyn is a champion that has what I want to call automatic lane priority, and is really the last remaining bastion of those AD carries that can really take over the lane.
And looks like the Outlaws are picking up Lux. That is going to be a Lux mid, because first time Sona loves playing that champion. He really does like playing very flex heavy picks in the mid lane. Like, I've seen him play Dark Harvest Sona mid. That was kind of iffy, but there's always a possibility. And there's a Sejuani pickup.
That actually sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to try the Dark Harvest Sona as soon as I get off tonight.
Yeah, just make sure you start Dark Seal.
Exactly. You have to. Otherwise, I mean, what is your sustain?
What are you doing, man? Come on.
But I do like the Lux pickup here, because it's also sort of a nod to last week. As long as they're not denied that Lux, right? The ability for first time to pop off is actually pretty large. We saw him. I think he got 11 kills last week or something like that, and was just looking totally massive.
Yeah,
so I think
fantastic.
Yeah, this is very much we want to do this again. Can you deny us this very same win condition? And Cho'Gath locked in before Ornn. I wonder if Cho'Gath is going top. Is the Ornn an answer to that? Because I feel like Cho'Gath is commonly the other way around.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a hunch I have. Like, people have told me I do really great at just distinguishing where people are or where champions are going. I'm thinking this might be a Cho'Gath jungle, just out of nowhere, just for craps and giggles, just hey, why not just make someone who infinitely scales, who has almost infinite farms, to always be camping, like.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna say that your Giga Brain is probably on point tonight, and really base all of my analysis around that, because I'd like to see a Cho'Gath jungle. It's not something that we see super often, and into something like a Shyvana, who also doesn't have incredible ganks, is more objective focused. I feel like the Cho'Gath might actually be a really good answer. The ability to have that double smite with him, and potentially take away the key objectives that Shyvana needs. Obviously, we're talking about dragons here, is going to be something that is sort of a surprisingly niche counterpick if they do choose to put Lendul on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah. And we do see the Zac ban, so it looks like the Outlaws would not be expecting the Cho'Gath jungle, and I am hoping to everything that it is the Cho'Gath jungle. I haven't seen that in a while, and like maybe plot twist, like I've been hoping for the past 2 weeks, it's gonna be an orange jungle against a Cho'Gath jungle. That would be such a good matchup.
That would be really, really funny. You know, Orange Jungle actually not that bad. Like, I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad because you farm
it's a very slow clear early, but like I mentioned in chat while we were waiting for everything to start up, build on hit. If you just rush, if you rush a Black Cleaver, your passive or your W or the
Bella's breath.
Yeah, the breath. That scales off of AD when you do the auto attack onto the targeted champion.
Oh, proccing brittle scales off AD, so you want to build the AD. I like it. I'm going to go warrior. Or so it's difficult. I have to prioritize now whether I want to try Dark Harvest Sona mid or AD or like full warrior lethality Ornn, because
full lethality Ornn, like I've done it. It's fun, but it's kind of people don't get it. So
yeah, it is difficult to keep everybody's mantles on point. But speaking of that, I like what Phantoms have done here. Speaking of that lethality, they've taken away the Senna. And speaking of the lane priority that they banned away early, the ability to play safe, they also took away the Ezreal. And I think this very much speaks to them wanting to go for a bot lane centric style. They have the Ashe Braum already, super strong lane, with really zero answer from Outlaws on that front. I like where Phantoms are going. I feel like they have a direction in this draft.
Yeah, and Brave Carcass is a very aggressive player, so taking putting him on Ashe is a very good pick, and he's going to be up against a Twitch, so it's either going to go very good for him or very bad. And I'm hoping the Outlaws are going to pick Lulu, because Twitch Lulu is almost unstoppable, because it is the ultimate sustain / kill lane, and the Ashe and Braum are just a little bit less than that, and like they're picking up Volibear on the side of Phantoms now.
Yeah, it looks like they're hovering it, just trying to decide on their last couple picks here. And I would like the Twitch Lulu because I know how frustrating it is to play against. It does seem like a little bit of a BM answer into what Phantoms are drafting, though, because Twitch, realistically, without the Lulu at least, has very little lane priority, is not really a champion that is self-sufficient in any way, especially when you have a support like Braum who can just walk at him and take away the rat-a-tat-tat, or spray and pray, I forget which it's called now.
Spray and pray.
But I feel like it's a little bit of disrespect on the side of Outlaws, not believing that Phantoms, even with their new roster, can turn this around.
Yeah, I really do feel like if the Outlaws did pick Vayne, that would make this game basically an easy win. Because like even if they didn't know that they were taking Volibear, then just against the Cho'Gath and the Braum, it just would have been so easy for them to just stomp at any point of the game. And looks like Phantoms are picking up the Sylas.
Yeah, and that's going to be responded to with the Cassiopeia, which is a little odd, isn't it?
Oh, so it looks like it is going to be a Lux support. Oh, I guess I was wrong. My Giga Brain has failed me.
You know what? We still have the chance for the Cho'Gath jungle, and if you get that one right, I mean, I'm handing all the marbles to you. But the Sylas pickup is also a little bit odd for me because, I mean, you've drafted Sylas into Lux, which has a nice ultimate, Ornn, nice ultimate, Shyvana and Twitch, not so great with the Sylas here, and so normally we see him picked up when you know the matchup, or you're going to be able to steal away ults consistently. It really is only the 2 and now 3 ultimates given over to him with the Petrifying Gaze that can be useful in some sort of way, and it really feels like this is going to be a sustained bruiser composition, because the Sylas does go really well with the Volibear and the Cho'Gath, who can stand in the middle of your team, heal up immensely, and keep everybody off of Carcass.
Sylas OP, that's all I'm going to say.
It's kind of busted, right, Kingslayer? Like, it doesn't feel good at all.
No, yeah, it's so unfair. Just you can literally stand there and phase tank anything. Like at some point, I would love to see the Sylas just try and just solo Baron. Because it's easily doable. Just as long as Sylas builds at least one self-sustaining item, it's just easy. Just GG.
if it's a good macro call, I'll take it. You know, if what the game ends up being is Outlaws are all bot, Silas is split pushing top, and he goes, "Yo, guys, I can take the Baron 100%. I support it." Outside of that, though,
Yeah.
I am excited for these teams to be playing at the top of their game, respectively.
Yeah,
It does
just
feel
like-
like they have
just like-
identities to play to.
Oh, it is gonna be Cho'Gath top. Oh, and the Norn top. Oh.
But the swap, it could be.
Ooh, don't talk about swap. Don't talk about lane swapping because there's been some touchy. That's been a very touchy subject for the past week or so. Yeah, Gurf knows. Like, there's been some very interesting debates about what is classified as lane swapping and role swapping, but it's either way. It's I think top lane is gonna go very easy for the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I mean, Cho'Gath is going to have a really good matchup into a lot of tanks, right? And we had a chance to talk a little bit about what Phantoms have for themselves in terms of the draft, in terms of the game now, like what their plan sort of is. And I want to talk a little bit about, we can cover that again, but also what it is the Outlaws have drafted themselves in terms of strength here.
They really drafted themselves into a jungle and mid heavy game. So if either one of them gets behind, even by what seems like a little bit, it could mean game over for them. Because if Cassiopeia is behind, that means that Cassiopeia is behind. It's not like Set who can just stay there, still do whatever it is that they're doing, and still be useful to the team. It's just very hard to get back in with that champion, along with Shyvana.
Yeah, and I mean, because you mentioned the sort of snowballiness of their composition, I want to note additionally, or sort of adding on to that Outlaws, I feel like their composition is more so than some others going to be based really heavily on their vision control. Because not knowing where Twitch is, not knowing where Shyvana is, you've actually drafted yourself what is a really good 1-3-1 composition, but instead of the 3 in the mid lane, you can have them showing up anywhere. And that's really the power that comes with the composition that Outlaws have. Ornn, great side laner. Cassiopeia, even better side laner. Of course, with the sort of addendum that she doesn't need, or that she must be even or ahead, but still is going to be extremely powerful. And Twitch, his real power is when you don't know where he is. So what I want to see is Shyvana Lux roaming around and clearing out vision, while Twitch is able to gank those side lanes if we make it to that 25-minute mark and Outlaws are feeling good.
Yeah, which I really hope we do, because it would be such a like fun, like to the tooth or nail and teeth, or whatever that saying is. Like, just like I will be on the edge of my seat, be sweating out gallons of water, because like this is definitely my favorite matchup on stream for this week. Because you never know what's gonna happen. Like, one bad move could cause the game, and it's gonna be just insane.
Yeah, and Phantoms, they can really throw everything at the wall here. They are going to be in that lower what is it? They're already so low placed that this game is really going to be about them being able to take games off of Outlaws. But as we sort of talk about this, we do have the 3 minutes of spectator delay to work through, and the poll has started in the chat, so go ahead, use your tokens. I know that Gurf on the other hand side has everything handled. I would normally participate in the poll, but this time my eyes are all about this team composition right now. It's my first time here. I don't want to miss a thing, so I'm going to be staying here until the spectator delay. I expect you to be placing those bets for me out in the chat.
Gurf, I will give you all of my tokens if you drop everything on the team of your choice, because my heart will go for the Outlaws here, but I know that like somehow the Phantoms are either gonna just absolute destroy or make some big comeback, and it's gonna be very great to see.
And they're looking like they're in a position to do that. Like I mentioned multiple times in the draft, I think the Phantoms have themselves what is a really nice team identity, and specifically at this level of play is easy to execute. Most of their team identity is, if Cho'Gath isn't behind, if Volibear isn't behind, if Silas isn't behind, just run at the enemy team. And obviously, I think that we can say this for both teams. It requires them not feeding an immense amount, but even if your Silas is 0-1, 0-2, that goes for Volibear and Cho'Gath as well.
Yeah.
You can really just dogpile onto somebody, and the only person you really have to watch out for is Twitch, because otherwise you out-bruiser Outlaws every day of the week.
Yeah. It's like just the amount of sustain that the Phantoms have on their team is just outrageous. Cho'Gath, has that has his, basically one-shot ultimate if he gets to a high enough point. I can't wait for the one-shot onto the Shyvana, at probably around the 15-minute mark. Volibear has that insane CC and W lifesteal. Silas is just Silas. Ash with the solo peel, which is ridiculous, and Braum with the mobility and protection he will provide his teammates. It's definitely a battle of whoever can scale faster.
Yeah, and I really like the Braum pickup here, especially my eyes are really going to be on Brecky once we hit, I want to call it 20 minutes into the game, because Twitch, no matter how far behind he is at 20 minutes in the game, is going to be relevant. And that's the power of the Twitch, right? Is your ability to sort of pop back into the game at any moment with a really key spray and pray, and it's going to be ultimately up to Braum to deny that. Yes, the rest of Phantoms, they're going to have the job of trying to keep Twitch down once he's identified, but Brecky is the one that has to have the insta-react to be able to keep Red Wheelbarrow from rolling over their team, or at least putting them in a significant health disadvantage.
I know Mastery does not equal in-game skill, but Tainted Red has Mastery 7, 705k, 1,000 points onto the Lux. It's kind of scary. Yeah, I believe the most Mastery points I've ever seen on a champion was in an ARAM game where someone got singed and they have 9 million Mastery points.
Oh my lord.
On singed. Like,
that's one of the... Yeah, that's one of those things that I kind of struggle to sympathize with, because Singed isn't like a Katarina where every game is different and you gotta like outplay. Singed, like every game is more or less the same, where you run it down top, your team feeds, you try to carry, and then you lose. And I don't understand how you can do that 9 million times.
Oh my god, man! Like, I didn't look at his master. I didn't look at his profile afterwards. I wish I did. I wonder how many games he's had that are actually played total on the Singed. That would be so scary, man.
It actually would be.
I would not want to be up against that. I'm thankful he was on my team, because he literally ran at people. He did the flips. He did everything perfect, and it was definitely a spectacle to witness. So.
That's what you need, right? And I mean, this game, although we don't have a Singed, we are looking for some champions to be doing the same thing. When we talk about that, I'm thinking specifically about the Shyvana, because her job is going to be in that Singed niche style where she's more of a disruptor than she is a tank, really. Shyvana is at a weird place in the meta, and has been for a little while, where I don't feel like she's particularly OP. She just happens to farm quite well, and then doesn't really have an item identity come late game, unless you're going that AP assassin build, which we might actually see here now that she has the Dark Harvest.
Alright.
I mean, just a second, as I'm pausing at that 5-second mark. Had to go back as I was setting everything up, but now that I'm paused there, I am ready to go. All right,
we're underway.
now with the game well and truly begun, we can talk back about that Dark Harvest, but more importantly, I want to situate everybody here. We have Outlaws from the top side of the map, Phantoms on the bottom side of the map. You'll see them on your screens shortly as a big bear is running out of the base. And I mean, we got a lot of thick boys on the side of Phantoms here, and yeah. I wonder just how much space their champion models are going to take up later in the game.
And who knows, if Volibear is going to build what I think he's going to, I would love to see a Gargoyles, just double size, just stand in the way. With that ultimate, triple size, just no way you will get past that, man.
No, and I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea at all, because as we mentioned, Phantoms, their composition is about standing on top of you and buying space for their Ashe, because you have to deal with all these tanks in the front. And there's not a whole lot of bypass of that on the side of Outlaws, unless you get Red Wheelbarrow on a flank, or perhaps a really nice Ornn ultimate that, again, Brecky has the ability to deny.
Yeah.
For right now, though, it's going to be both teams spreading out with the 5-point spread. Nobody going for any early action. Outlaws throw down a ward in the river to spot out any potential invades, and it's mirrored on the top side. And I think that we're actually going to get opposite side starts for the respective junglers, as Lenduel, he's still around his blue buff.
I wonder who's going to get where first. Volibear gonna get bot first, or Sejuani gonna get top? From what it's looking like, I'm thinking thinking Volibear might get bot first, which would be a very good gank for them, because if Twitch is behind even a little bit at this early stage, losing that farm is not good for him at all. Especially since Ashe has a problem there, with the steel shoulder guards getting that easy gold.
Yeah, a potential bot gank could actually spell disaster for Outlaws here, and I think Phantoms, they know that, and they are moving towards that win condition, or what I want to call advantage condition, with Lendul starting on the top side. And for now, because none of these champions spike particularly early, with the exception of that Ashe Braum, I don't actually expect that we get a lot of action for the first couple minutes until we get to that point where Volibear, after he's finished his full clear, is going to be able to go bot. And it looks like actually both junglers going for full clears. It is expected of Shyvana, though, who wants to be able to scale up.
Yeah. From how it's looking right now, there's some heavy mid-prio on the side of Outlaws. First time Sona just pushing up farm. And I like seeing dual corrupting pods, so that's... it's going to be a very, very, very neutral lane for a little bit, but there's going to be a big fight coming out of nowhere pretty soon, I imagine.
Yeah, especially once we hit the item spikes in the mid lane. Both of these champions actually have a surprising amount of burst. Even Cassiopeia, with her twin fangs, can do quite a bit. And Lendul, I like this here, pops into the mid lane and clears out a little bit of vision just to keep Outlaws guessing as to where he is as he continues along the Skittle Crab here. And the opposite side starts for the junglers is going to translate into them being able to just run the opposite sides of the map. No unexpected Skittle Crabs anywhere, as first time is going to be able to get away from that. Like we mentioned, has a lot of sustain, has the corrupting pots ticking, although it is going to be first time who's run out of them first.
Yeah, kind of a bad use of those pots, but it could be okay because Cassiopeia is up in farm, even if it is just by a couple. It still does, mean okay. Oh, it's like top lane. There was a little bit of a trade between the Ornn and the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I expect we'll be seeing quite a bit of those, especially because both of these champions have the Grasp, and so want to be fighting to stack that HP. Grasp is going to be significantly more valuable on Cho'Gath, technically, as the game goes on, because of its synergy with his Feast. And so I don't expect that to amount to way too much, but I think it is interesting to note the way that this rune specifically, along with people like Sion, for example, how Cho'Gath's rune choice actually plays into the literal stats of his ultimate, and Lendul down here is going to be hovering the bot side. There's actually been really nice wave positioning from Outlaws and Phantoms, respectively, to be able to position their waves appropriately when the junglers are around. And it's really the first time that we've seen Outlaws in a semi-risky position, and they have vision already.
Yeah, Tainted Lux did drop a ward, but Lendul did take care of that very easily, right there at the exact right moment. But unfortunately, he may not get a gank off, and he is wasting a little bit of time as Silas does start to rotate down. Yeah,
Silas is rotating. They want to make this gank happen. They're going to invest a lot in it. Flash forward from Carcass to try and secure the stun here. Multiple flashes in the bot lane means that Lux going to go down. No flash, no exhaust on her means absolutely no life. And the Phantoms, they turn at least one member of Outlaws into a ghost for now. Could be two, though, as Wheelbarrow, he's going to get exhausted. He's going to be chased down, going to be stunned up, and he's got to be really careful. His health pool is not that big this early in the game. Brecci tanking 2 turret shots, isn't going to be able to get the last auto for his AD carry. I like the back off there, and they deny Red Wheelbarrow all of that CS. Look at him, he's backing all the way. Oh, in the meantime, Yuki, he wants to engage onto Given. I don't think that he has the damage for this, especially in the 1v2. Needs to survive for as long as he can. Brave Carcass, he's roaming up. The flash over the wall from the Silas will save his life finally, and the blast cone should get him to safety as the dragon is secured by Lendul. He might not be able to get out here if he's spotted by the Lux. Doesn't have the flash, but it looks like Outlaws aren't going to check the Dragon Pit just yet. Might be able to get this one off, actually, and will be able to escape. The miracle for Lendul there. Gets the dragon, gets the kill, and gets out with his life.
That was a lot of close calls there on both teams' sides. Flashes were burned, dragons were slain, but it ultimately did work out heavily for the side of the Phantoms, as they did gain the dragon and got out with all their lives plus 1 kill, but minus some sums. But it's nothing bad compared to to dying, supposedly.
Yeah, and I mean, the 400 gold on the Sylas is really going to be the decider here. There's CS advantages in every lane but jungle right now for the side of Phantoms, and having the additional burst onto Sylas into a Cassiopeia who's forced to build into this more scaling option means that the mid-game spike is going to come so much faster for this chained man here in our mid lane. Looks like we might see another gank top. We're going to be spotted out by the vision plant from Given. In the mid lane, though, there's already a fight going on. Yuki, he's looking to lose that gold advantage. His first time Sona, he gets the Conqueror proc and will force Sylas out of the lane. Lenduel going to find the Scuttle Crab in the mid lane, actually smited away by Given, and now needs to get away with his life. He's only level 4 to the level 5 and 6, and it's not going to be enough. No flash cone auto means no snur for the side of Lenduel is going to go down, and unfortunately losing his life there, spending a little bit too much time. You see the time that he invested bot lane paying off in the fact that he's only level 4 to Given's level 5, who took that time to farm.
To every bad play, there's also some bright side. That did give Cho'Gath a little bit of a chance to catch up and farm and actually take the lead. And from how it looks right now, Ornn does not have a lot of mana, but neither does King. It looks like there's going to be a trade going on.
Yeah, like we said, we should see trades of Grasp here as a Brittle proc also going to go down, but the small amount of mana that you mentioned for Sorin will mean that they can't really capitalize on a kill from that, and Given was quite low as well after that play, so nothing doing there. But while we're talking about Given, I want to take a look at his build, because it looks like we are going to be getting that one-shot Shyvana that I am so fond of in my solo queue games.
When it's on your team, good things. When it's against you, it's either... nothing smells good at all there for you. Here in the bot lane, there's a lot of trading going on as Cho'Gath does TP top.
Ooh, nice Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The level 6s are hit, and that should be a dead wheelbarrow there. Ultimate invested from the Braum as well. Can they get it alive, though? Sorin is going to, manage to proc the ultimate through the Unbreakable. Might be able to take down Brave Carcass, but does not get the knockup. Even he has the level 6 in the bot side. We could look to see that AP Shyvana pick up several kills here. Has the ultimate right there. Flash under the turret. Going to secure Brave Carcass. Can he get out with his life, though? Exhaust from Brecci will cost him his own as he walks a little bit too far forward. Gets taken down by Sorin, and a big play from Outlaws in the bot lane.
That was some very risky plays on the side of the Outlaws, as there was a dive there, and the TP from the Ornn it worked out very well for them. Now they are chipping away at that gold lead that the Phantoms do have, as Rift Herald does get slain.
And importantly, Feast was used there on the Rift Herald, but did not get the kill. So that's going to be not only Cho'Gath without teleport, much like the Ornn, but additionally now has no Feast stack that is so important in this early game. Hasn't gotten the additional health, hasn't gotten the additional ability to execute. And so really it feels like the top side is losing for Phantoms, as Sorin on the other side of that teleported and got a whole kill. As in the mid lane now, first time Sona in a little bit of trouble, is going to be taken away. The Petrifying Gaze, Red Yuki manages to grab that one for himself and forces first time Sona to back away, but it actually looked like he was doing pretty well in that trade.
Yeah, looks like Even is gonna set up a pink ward on drag, setting up for that next break, which is what? Oh, it's a mountain. Oh, I forget. Now it actually shows it on the dragon pit, and there's gonna be invade from Given going into the Volibear's jungle. Might be looking for a very cheeky flank.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely what we see. No vision in the bot side for Phantoms. I mean, Brave Carcass, he's not long for this world. Going to be able to flash away for now, but the slow going to land from the Shyvana. Dark Harvest gets procced, and the heal coming out as well. No summoners in the bot lane. Almost as good as a kill, because Twitch, he's going to be able to walk back, pick up this cannon wave, and perhaps even a dragon. It's spawning in 10 seconds.
Looks like it is going to be a free dragon. I wouldn't have Lenduel risk his life just for a fight. Maybe a steal, but he is down. Oh, it looks like he's he's down an entire level now. So that's going to be a very hard smite battle to win.
Yeah, but look at this Given. He face checks and actually has no ultimate here. Petrifying Gaze is well going to lock him up for so long, coupled with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Means that Given, he has no time to react. Enough Tainted Red. He's going to potentially get knocked up here. There it is from the Braum. That should be his life going down as well. Fails the flash over the wall. And we were talking about free dragons, but it looks like we miscalculated what side that was going to. Phantoms, they're going to get themselves the second dragon of the game.
that was beautifully played by them. Like Lux did get way too greedy there to try and slow them down, but it just didn't matter because Brahmo OP.
Yeah, and I mean, name of the game is vision right now because that
Yeah.
whole play started off of, first of all, Given ganking bot lane into 0 defensive wards from Phantoms, and then Given walking straight into the pixel brush when he had no vision there either. And Red Yuki completely able to 100 to 0 him, now sitting at 3-0. His damage is nothing to be scoffed at. And they could actually look to take down Red Wheelbarrow here because, once again, there's no vision for Outlaws. He does have the invisibility. The flash forward from Lendul, though, means that the flash and heal forced out of Red Wheelbarrow. Again, a trade of summoners in the bot side. Now, both AD carries summoner-less as the Rift Herald is going to be thrown down. The Gauntlet going to be thrown down in the bot lane. And it looks like we're going to get some plates taken over to the side of Phantoms as well.
I really think that Lendul should have stayed there and tried to at least escort the Rift Herald, because it could have gotten caught up if there was another way that was approaching, and it just wouldn't have done anything and would have been a waste. Because looks like Brecky's gonna get snared, but
Yeah, Red Yuki actually goes straight back in, wants to find first time Sona here. No Petrifying Gaze to CC him, means that he will manage to take her down. Almost takes down 3 in the meantime, as Soren is the one to pick that one up. But good God, Red Yuki, he pops off, and now Lendul, he's looking up to finish off exactly what his mid laner started. Doesn't manage to get it, though. Searing Charge going to secure Soren's life under the tower, but the push belongs to the Volibear in the mid lane, and now 5-1 on this Silas. Didn't even go Proto Belt first like I'm used to seeing, ended up going that Ludens. He wants to blow people up quickly, and Red Wheelbarrow, he's getting chased down in the bot side. Looks like he's going to be able to get himself away with the camouflage. And that's honestly a thanks be to the Lord if you're Outlaws, because that is 100% a situation that they have lost in. Yes, they managed to trade back, but none of that looked good.
yeah. The Outlaws may seem down, but they are not out at all. They still do have so much potential to come back. Twitch is not far behind. Lux is Lux, just leave it at that. Shyvana's doing quite well for herself at the moment, and Ornn is up 2-0. So even if mid lane does just completely fall apart, they still do have a chance for that. For the big Ornn blows up, like the massive amount of CC from Lux and just Twitch. So
yeah, and it is going to be, like I mentioned, that moment that we're really looking at Brecky for, because he needs to be the one to deny those so that Phantoms can hold on to their lead, because otherwise they're just one sort of wrong decision away from losing this. And looks like we're going to get some more dueling in the top lane. It's just going to be name of the game here. Red Yuki, though, he's roaming up, could look to turn this around, but a lot of magic resist on this Ornn means that Silas's gank not meaning nearly as much. It is really Brave Carcass who is going to be the man who needs to take down this Ornn, because the amount of magic resist that Soren has on him means that Volibear, Silas, and Cho'Gath all going to have a very difficult time.
yeah, it's good to see an Ornn finally go Abyssal Mask first. Everyone's so used to seeing, the Bambi Cinder, then the Chain Vest, and then just finishing off the Sunfire Cape just cause.
The teleport in from Red Yuki there punishes the over-aggression. I like the look from Phantoms there, as it looked like Phantoms were over-aggressing in the bot side once again, but a nice capitalization on that, using the summoners from Red Yuki, who, like I mentioned, is quite ahead. Might actually look to turn this around as well. Red Wheelbarrow, he is taking quite a bit of damage, but it looks like he's going to get away, as Final Spark going to buy a little bit of time. One auto away from death. He's going to be able to survive. Now, Red Yuki, he's face-checking, but I don't think that you're exactly concerned about it as the Silas. He blows up first time Sona, and that was not the move for the Cassiopeia. She needs to be behind people, needs to be peeled for. Red Yuki, he has the day with her. Flash forward from King in the top lane will secure the feast, and tonight he dines exactly like his namesake, and the Cho'Gath feeling so much better after being able to take down that champion. That is infinite stacking.
I really hope that the Cho'Gath does start building into a farm. Man, it looks like he's going to build Ninja Tabbies quite soon if he does back. But I would like to see a Bramble Vest come up soon, because eventually Twitch is just going to start roaming around. It's going to try and blow him up as fast as possible.
Yeah,
I mean, have some stacks.
Twitch being
stacks.
Twitch being able to burn through these tanks with the Blade of the Ruin King is going to be really important. And actually, I wonder, how Spray and Pray extends your auto attacks?
Yeah.
And how Bramble Vest applies grievous wounds if you auto attack that person.
Yes.
If the line auto attack hits Cho'Gath, but you weren't targeting him, do grievous wounds apply to you?
That's
Question
actually a
for us all to
fantastic
think on.
question.
Yeah.
Let's see what the chat has to say about that, because that is also that's a very interesting point.
Yeah, let us know if you know in the chat. In the meantime, though, it is going to be Shyvana being zoned out here. They've invested the Cho'Gath teleport supposedly for this dragon. It will be their third of the game, so Phantoms feeling really good about this. If they can put themselves on that Ocean Soul, this suddenly becomes a win condition for them. And with Given inting into their faces, it looks like it's going to be relatively easy. Red Wheelbarrow should be feasted down here in just a moment. The trade back might come in from Tainted Red as he does manage to grab the Ash. No DPS now. But who needs DPS when you have Red Yuki? Petrifying Gaze is available, but we have to be careful here. Finds 3 members, but first time Sona, he's caught out in the middle of 4, and so the numbers really are not playing into his favor. Sword Flash support to try and finish off Red Yuki, but he still has the Shyvana ticking. Weirdly enough, that looks very, very strange. He's going to be able to crawl his way around the outside of the pit. Red Wheelbarrow has to be careful. He doesn't have vision on the Silas right now, but it looks like with the jungler dead, the mid laner dead, and the top laner dead, Phantoms are finally feeling confident just to take the dragon in the face of the remaining members of Outlaws. Tainted Red and Wheelbarrow are going to be hanging out here trying to secure what they can, but the flashboard from the top should just 100-0. The Lux gives the kill over to his support, wants to be a good guy, and denies that 007 scoreline for Brecky there. But I mean, Silas is not going to be feeling too bad about that. Has himself now at the 8-1-3 mark, and I expected the game to be about the Ashe, but it's really been about Red Yuki this game, and it looks like it's going to be about Brecky dying very soon. Given, he's in the bot side right now, and Red Wheelbarrow and Given, they're actually looking for the Ashe here. The flank will secure, looks like both of them. Given, though, has the ultimate, doesn't want to invest it because he doesn't have the sufficient rage for it, and unfortunately, both kills get away from the side of Outlaws. They've lost pretty consistently for the past couple of minutes.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, things are just starting to get out of control, and like I said, the Phantoms are just gonna keep scaling, especially in Silas, because he almost has a. Sorry, I saw what was going on in the mid lane, and it kind of distracted me. So he almost has a finished Morello's, and it looks like he's building up a Sphere of Visage, so it's only a matter of time until he is like even more unstoppable than he already is.
Yeah, and I actually really like the pickup for him there. Picked himself up just the Oblivion Orb, and then has started pivoting. This is for those of you who watch any LS at all. This is something that is going to be what I want to call favored by the professional casters in Korea, being able to pick up just the magic penetration that comes from Oblivion Orbs, while not necessarily prioritizing the Grievous Wounds, maybe thinking that it'll come from elsewhere, but also isn't going to be that huge into a Twitch that's behind, and a Cassiopeia who's behind has just now finished the Archangel Staff and will continue to scale, but isn't necessarily relevant just yet. Lendul going to find that very same Cassiopeia in the jungle, and in the meantime, Red Wheelbarrow is going to be zoned out of his wave, whole level behind his respective AD carry, and Shrenic Crystal Arrow being up means that he has to be really careful here. Doesn't have Flash. Given is in the bot lane, though, and this time he has the ultimate, so if we saw the bot lane of Phantoms go aggressive, they could be punished once again.
I'm hoping Given will engage here, because that could have been a very good fight for them to take, considering they do have Spray and Pray and Final Spark up. Yeah. Also, going back to what we were saying about Spray and Pray, it looks like we do have Master.
There's a pick there, and there is 100% gone as Shyvana. In the meantime, though, actually, she's managed to escape. Red Wheelbarrow gets the kill over the wall. Reki flashes forward. The killer support here is going to manage to pick up the kill, and now they're just trying to chase onto Tainted Red. Red Yuki considers going after first-time Sona, but wants to be able to secure the kill onto the Lux. Isn't going to find it, though. The Abduct Abscond not going to be able to be used over the wall there. Doesn't manage to dash over, which means that it actually ends up being a 1-for-1, and I don't know how many times that you've heard this or if I've mentioned it before on cast, but if it is a 1-for-1, if you're the losing team, in this case that being Outlaws, down 7k gold at this point, you take 1-for-1s every day of the week.
Yeah. And like I was saying before, we do have an informant who mentioned that Spray and Pray. It does hitting Bramble Vest does inflict grievous wounds onto you.
Ooh, thank you so much, anonymous user. Thank you so much. Amistan. Perfect.
I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
No, the mispronunciation name is part of the package here on the cast at Legends. It is, I think, a pride point for myself, at least. Whenever you shout out somebody, if you mispronounce the name, they at least know that you tried, and that's really part of it. And it looks like we're going to get several tries from Outlaws here in the bot side. Even once again running straight into an Enchanted Crystalero. In the meantime, ooh, nice block from Brecky will deny the rest of that Ornhorn. A second kill goes over to the Sylas, and it's really messing me up because whenever he kills somebody while using the Shyvana ultimate, he also shows up as Shyvana.
Yeah, that is very confusing, and it's concerning as well because I'm thinking, wait, this isn't a blind pick game. There's gonna be a re-engage here.
A nice dodge on the Petrifying Gaze from Yuki means that they actually could take this. They're down a key ultimate on the side of Outlaws, but it looks like with the Miasma, it will be the disengage that is the choice for Phantoms. They teleport in the Cho'Gath, and they're teleporting him in because it's only 40 seconds on the Dragon. So as long as they can continue to zone out Outlaws, clear out this vision like they're doing right now, there's no way that Outlaws are able to contest this Dragon. If they're not able to contest the Dragon, my friend, it is Ocean Soul, and Ocean Soul, it's just a continuation of the argument. Ocean Soul is game over, realistically. I don't think I've ever seen a game won into an Ocean Soul, especially at the level of coordinated play. Wheelbarrow going to be stalled out there and teleport from Red Yuki. He can't just jump on a first-time Sona. Again, no Petrifying Gaze. It bears repeating as it looks like he's going to be able to slow her up with her own ultimate. Almost takes her down. There's the Chain Lash to finish her off. Given, he is not long for this world either. The Jungler about to be taken off the map. A double kill for the Sylas. King is in the bot lane trying to peel for his Ashe, but his Ashe wants to turn it around, throws the Enchanted Crystalero back. Now needs to just walk past Sword. Apparently he's going for Brecky instead. Tainted Red going to be finished off by the Sylas, who's finally rummed down Brave Carcass. He flashes forward, wants a kill of his own. Finally, will he get it? He will finally pick up a kill onto the Twitch. In the meantime, kill finished off on the Ord, who is realistically just a massive meatball in the backside. And now finally we get to the Drake. A kill for Carcass. A Drake to finish off the Soul. Looks like the game is going very, very Phantom's favor.
And looking at it now, Cho'Gath did pass 3,000 health, and he only has a completed Abyssal Mask. And on top of that, the Ocean Soul, unkillable. This Phantom team is basically unkillable.
And Ocean Soul is really about the best thing that you can hope for if you are playing the side of Phantoms. If you have a draft that is Sylas, Volibear, and Cho'Gath, coupled with even a Braum, Ocean Soul is probably the best. Maybe Mountain Soul next, but just because of the amount that it exacerbates your win condition. We talked about the win condition for Outlaws being this 1-3-1 very strong side lane. They haven't been able to achieve that because they've been so far behind. They don't feel comfortable putting anybody in a side lane, especially against Yuki. But on the other side, Phantoms, their win condition is dogpile on with your tanks and win off of that. And they certainly are in a position to start doing that. They've got themselves not only 3 tanks who are all ahead. I will call Sylas a semi-tank since he didn't go the endization that we thought he did, but he's still building a Spirit's Visage. Yeah. But they're all incredibly ahead, as well as the Ocean Soul, which really plays directly into what tanks want to do.
And look at the itemization on the side of Phantoms. Ashe has Merc Treads. That's a very interesting pick. I mean, there's a lot of slowing abilities on the side of the Outlaws, but Merc Treads on an ADC, that just feels wrong. ADC's not my main role, but it just feels wrong. It
does feel kind of strange. Brave Carcass, though, he puts those Merc Treads to good use, doesn't get one shot by the Ornn, regens a bunch. I'm going to call it half Merc Treads, half Ocean Soul that saved him there, and it looks like the Baron's going to be next on the menu. They have the DPS to do this, especially with the Blade of the Ruined King that very same Ashe has, and looks like no contest just yet, but we see Outlaws, they're roaming over.
If Cho'Gath does get the feast onto this Baron, then that's it. Never King JYK, apologies, is never gonna die because he'll be at so much health. It's just why even try?
Oh, there's the beast that you talked about. Traded 1-for-1 though so far, and Twitch gets blown up. No chance at a spray and pray. That or his prayers really aren't doing them any good. You've got to say them every night before bed or they don't count, my friend. And it looks like not quite in the right position there. Maybe not quite in the right position spiritually means that Red Wheelbarrow are going to get taken down. And now it is the Baron push from Phantoms into the mid lane. And we've got to see Outlaws giving this one over. There's really no way for them to contest. It is going to be wave after wave, and they've got to deal with King on the top side as well. But can you really commit the resources?
I don't think you can at this point. Just looking at it, Silas, 14-1, unkillable. Ocean Soul, unkillable. Has Spirit Visage and Magic 10 and a fully stacked Magi's, unkillable. Look at that, he's just face tanking everything that's being thrown at them.
Yeah, there's nothing that can be done to this team's opposition right now. Brecky, nice denial there. I see you. With the Unbreakable, does manage to stop the call of the Forge God. One turret goes over to the side of Phantoms, and it looks like King, he's going to back off in the top lane. We might see some resets, but instead it looks like we're getting a rotation from Phantoms into the bot lane.
From how it looks right now, Cho'Gath might be building a Gargoyles. So that'll be 2 Gargoyles on the side of Phantoms.
And as we kind of continue in this game, all I'm thinking is, why didn't Phantoms rebuild their roster sooner? This is looking so good from them. They're going to be able to almost wipe out Red Wheelbarrow. Flash of the wall from King is going to look a little bit strange, but it's really one of the more questionable plays we've had this game, besides the vision, of course. The vision, you know, importantly is something that I want to touch on, but other than that, really, the macro play up down to the micro play has looked really good from Phantoms. They've got themselves an excellent draft. They've been able to play to it, and now backing off with the last couple minutes of their Baron buff should be able to reset, get themselves some gold, and maybe even finish off this game.
Yeah, looks like Cho'Gath straight up finished his Gargoyles and is now working towards that Spirit Visage. Already had both major components for it. And also, looking at the vision score, Braum doing a fantastic job with a 44. That's about where I would hope to be if I was playing support, and I do take pride that whenever I do play support, I do have a pretty high vision score. I think the highest I've ever had was an 85, and that was in a 35-minute game.
Wow, very good. You are honestly, you're an inspiration to us all, because I mean, we got, like, I've already mentioned the vision, but I mean, if we had you in this game, who knows what changes? Because maybe even less plays go in the favor of Phantoms. But this time, looks like it's going to be the game going in the favor of Phantoms. Flash forward from Red Yuki will just take out the bot lane here, showing up as the Shyvana once again for us. He wants to try and finish off Brave Carcass, but he still has the Enchanted Crystalline Arrow, and that is very much a dead Shyvana, and it looks like it's going to be a dead team here. Soren flashes forward, thought that he was going to get the knockup, doesn't manage to land the Searing Charge either, and it is a comedy of misplays here in the mid lane as Phantoms, they're walking this one forward. They get the kill. Silas, he gets a 17-1. The ace comes in for Phantoms, and it looks like this is going to be the game-ending push because they are all at full health. It is the magic of the Ocean Soul Phantoms. They redo their roster. They take away the AD carry of Outlaws, and it looks like they have put them in the ground here. Brave Carcass is going to be autoing down this Nexus, as it is really his last act of defiance into the team, his former team of Outlaws. Phantoms, they go up 1-0, and they look so good doing it.
Oh, that was definitely one intense game. I'd like to call to attention that I did see Cho'Gath with 5,700 health when the Gargoyle Stone Plate was active. That is some intense health right there.
That is absolutely insane. And speaking of absolutely insane, I want to take a look at these damage graphs as well, because holy moly, Silas coming out with the 29k damage, doubling or nearly doubling everybody's damage on the side of the Outlaws, with the exception of Ornn, who had the most damage on his team.
Just shy of 17k, but that was still a very well performance by the Ornn. He tried all that he could. Looks like he didn't really get around to upgrading any items for his team, which is very unfortunate because not many people on his team did have upgradable items. But that's it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, because I think it's just because he didn't really manage to hit the levels that are required. Yes, he got the the level 13, 14 where he can start to upgrade those items, but the amount of gold that has been denied his team is actually, I want to take a look at that as well. There we go. If we look at just at the top here, they've ended the game with a more than 10k gold lead, almost hitting, what is that? Almost hitting a 20k gold lead right there at the end. And it like, multiple complete 1, 2. I want to count this. I want to count Oblivion Orb as well as Magi Eyes as 1. So I'm going to call it 3 completed items on the Silas to just the barely 2 on the side of first time Sona. And I mean, I almost would have preferred the Dark Harvest Soda this game. It didn't really feel like Cassiopeia managed to do anything in the mid lane, and I think that's mostly due to good play from Phantoms, because Outlaws, they looked like they had their heads on straight. We even saw some plays going in their favor, but unfortunately weren't able to make it happen on the day.
Yeah, all I can say is Silas diff.
Yeah, but with that, of course, we're happy to see Phantoms succeeding finally with their redone roster. It is going to be a little bit late for them, but it does mean that they at least deny the win from Outlaws here, and will impact their standings potentially, depending on, of course, how the rest of the games go tonight. Speaking of those rest of the games, though, we are going to be getting into them after a very short pass off to Gurf as he introduces the next teams that are going to be coming at us. And spoiler, one of them's the same.
All right, thank you, my lovely casters, and what a hell of a game. Lovely to see the Phantoms back in action and kicking some butt on the Rift. A rough go for the Outlaws, but that puts both these teams at 2-11. So we'll have to see what happens with the head-to-head standings, the head-to-head matchup there. But in terms of these games, these teams are both 2-11. We're gonna have to see if the Phantoms can pick up another win, or what happens to the Outlaws later tonight as well, too. If they do have a second game, thank you for my crown. Thank you for the follow. But it's not done yet for the Phantoms. They still have another chance to bring themselves up over the Outlaws tonight. But they have a hell of an enemy to get by, and that is none other than our number 2 team right now, the Vipers, currently sitting at 10-2. But before we go to break, guys, we are going to start up that poll for player of the game. So make sure to get those votes in for who you think deserves that wonderful title of player of the game. So that is going live right now. Get those votes in. All you have to do is vote and put the position of the player afterwards. The poll will be showing on the break screen. And we are going to run a couple ads. So if you could stick around for those, that'd be lovely. Make sure I can pay off those student loans and feed myself so I can keep bringing you guys the best damn streams possible. But I will see you guys in a few seconds after this break, and then we will get set up for game number 2. So we'll see you right after this little short break.
Oh, you did it on my live? Hi, Mom.
Alrighty, welcome back, my friends, to week 7 of the Legends Amateur Series. We are about to get game number 2 underway. Vipers taking on the Bandits, but I have a very important announcement coming from their game. The Vipers just played the Bandits. I just said Vipers plays. No, Vipers are playing the Phantoms right now. They just played the Bandits. Vipers are in first place at 11-2. Bandits are down. I believe my sources are correct. I'm going to go with that, but as of what I know for sure and can confirm, the Vipers are 11-2, which is ahead of the Bandits record last recorded as 10-2. So, we got a bit of a game on our hands, guys. A brand new roster who just showed us that they can clean up on the Rift versus our now new number 1 team of the LAS draft, sliding into that slot at the halfway point of week 7. Holy moly, guys, that's insane. But before we head on over to pick and ban for game number 2, we are going to get our player of the game up there, and who else is that than the big and scary. I'm sorry the picture didn't work for some reason. The files I'm pulling from apparently do not have Silas, but it's Red Yuki on the Silas, going 17-1-6. Holy crap! What a big frickin' Silas it is. Unfortunately, he's not up on the screen there, but that was a pretty spicy game from Red Yuki. Excellent to see. Well, guys, we are going to get this show started for you. I'm going to make sure both of our casters have the spectator link before we get going. So I'm going to send that on over to them, and why not just pass it over as well too while we're doing that. So guys, without any further ado, our casters, take it away, lads.
Thank you so much, Gurf. It is myself, the Atropa, as well as Ayanami / Gavin on the desk here.
Still haven't decided, huh?
Exactly. I like the Ayanami, but Gavin, you know, it brings me back to all the kids that I knew named Gavin, because for some reason I knew like 8 kids named Gavin in elementary school. It's an incredible, like, I mean, really, it's a very popular name.
I've only met one other Gavin, and my dad was his godfather, so it's very interesting to see that or hear that you've known multiple in-person Gavins.
Well, I mean, I'll take you to my elementary school, and you'll meet all. Although now that I think about it, they're probably not in elementary school anymore, because I'm not in elementary school anymore.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, also that might be a little bit weird too, if 2 grown men just show up to an elementary school. But yeah,
that's true. Especially if we're like looking for some kids named Gavin. I don't know.
Yeah,
we got to be careful here. But in the meantime. I'm actually a little bit worried about this game as well. Speaking of being careful, Phantoms, as much as they had a really great showing last game, they weren't playing very careful. And Vipers, they are the top team right now. I mean, they did just play the Bandits, who as well one of the top teams at the moment. But Phantoms, as much as they've redone their roster, are very much fighting from a supposed deficit here, automatically. As we sort of do get into the ready checks for the draft. And I want to see them clean up their vision game, because the expectation for myself, somebody who hasn't gotten the chance to see Vipers just yet, is that Vipers do have those fundamentals cleaned up to more of an extent, and that Phantoms, they're going to have a little bit harder of a time just outskilling their opponents.
Yeah, quick note, Inferno D and Cyan 007, they actually are, I believe that they're actually becoming roommates or are already roommates, so that's also very cool. So they already have that personal synergy. Also, they've been duoing with each other ever since I even met Cyan, and that was over a year ago. So it's good to see that they duoed in this league, and then now they're doing everything together.
Yeah, and I mean, now with that sort of synergy, I don't think that you can just straight up pick a quote winning bot lane for Phantoms, because Vipers are going to know how to play it. They're not going to get as far behind as something like that Twitch. If we see Twitch piloted in the hands of 2 players that have that synergy, have that survivability in their pocket, I think we see even the previous game maybe not go a different way, because the lane and the game really became about Yuki. Shout out to our MVP, and I hope that he can put out a performance like that again. Yeah. But
at the
but
same
not
time,
on Silas.
it's going to be harder. Yeah, and actually, I like that you bring that up because we have jumped into the draft.
Yep.
Silas obviously taken away.
Cho'Gath also taken away also with Kate. From how it looks, Vipers might go for the Twitch Lulu, because and the Twitch got taken away just now. Because I've played the Vipers a few times. They Twitch Lulu, Kane. Those are just some basic champions that will always mess me up, especially Kane. I don't like Kane at all.
Oh, I mean, it's a good thing he's been taken off the board here, and as well as Silas, speaking of that overpoweredness, but it looks like Vipers, with that synergy we talked about in the bot lane, they're picking themselves up the classic lane-dominant AD carry, the Varus first pick, and I have not seen that in a while.
Yeah, I haven't either. I know Inferno D has been practicing that quite a bit, and hopefully he'll do some damage with it, because the last time he played on stream, it didn't go that well for him, but the rest of his team did pick up the slack. And Phantoms did pick up Ashe and Swain, and Vipers did pick up Nami, so...
Yeah,
possibly both bot lanes already picked up, so...
Yeah, the Nami pick here I really like for Vipers, specifically because we know they have that synergy that I'm going to continue to touch on, because after you brought it up, it's just one of the most incredible things that you can notice in a bot lane. I look for them to demonstrate it, but the Nami here, very much a win more pick, and coupled with something like the Vi, this is actually a really explosive early game team comp from Vipers. They don't have a lot of tanky options just yet. On the other side, if this is a Swain bot, if this is that is support that just gets to blow you up, this could actually be really, really scary. Vipers have to play very carefully here.
Looks like they did let Lendl's Volibear get through again. I hope that he will do more ganks in this game, considering they are red side. So much easier to gank. A bot lane and mid. And it's just, I really do hope that he does something more. It will make a difference. It really will make a difference.
Yeah, and as we approached the mid-game last game, Lendl was really the only person without a massive bounty on his head.
Yeah.
And didn't really have the impact on the Volibear that you are looking for from such a early game-centric champion. But the fact that they prioritize it does mean that, they value its consistency, the actual ability for Volibear to be able to, I want to say, consistently run at you, consistently tank up damage, even if he's not that ahead, is going to provide still a lot of utility. And I think that we're actually getting a similar composition, perhaps with the Swain. We might just see another bruiser composition that buys room for the Ashe, and Vipers, they've got a way to get through that with the Vi this time.
Yeah, looks like they did take out Echo, Darius, and then on the side of the Phantoms, and the Vipers did ban out Shen and Ornn. So it's interesting that they banned out the Darius, because I have seen Imshu play Darius a few times. He's got some skill, the champ, but again, how much skill does Darius really take?
Yeah, and I mean, Mordekaiser also does fall into that category of the bruiser who just sort of AoEs you down, and I think that, you see why they're banning the Darius now, because Mordekaiser not going to have a fun time into that champion. I like that we have the pickup of the Mordekaiser, perhaps looking to play through this top lane, but with that lock-in, it also means that we are indeed getting another bruiser composition.
Yeah, and it looks like that the Phantoms are going to have a counter mid pick into a Fizz. I don't care who you are, what champion you're great at. Fizz is always a nightmare to go up against. Just so much mobility, just outrageous range for how small that frog being is.
Yeah, and I mean, with the sort of pass-through that we talked about on the Vi, Fizz having the same potential to skirt around the bruisers in this fight, target down the Ashe, who should be doing most of the damage, and it looks like if Fiora being hovered in the top side is going to turn into actually very similar to what we saw last game, which is very strong side lanes, very strong deletion potential from Vipers.
I really do like the Fiora pick. I was really hoping for it, because Shu does like playing Fiora. But picking that against a Mordekaiser, against a Swain, and Ashe, it's just like counter CC 101. It's just great to see, and especially with the Galio pickup now on the side of Phantom. So a very tanky team, a very, very team fight focused, clearly, and is just like last game, depending on certain decisions that are made, it could either spell very good or very bad.
Yeah, I mean, I do tend to favor the draft of Vipers here, not because of their team fight, because their team fight is all right, but because if we look at the last pick for Phantoms, it is what I believe to be perhaps a mid Galio, a support Galio. It doesn't really matter who it is. And here's why. Because they've drafted this Galio in response, as a like, oh no, we can't have you diving our Ash. They could have picked this earlier for the solo lane, gotten counter in the top lane, but instead because they pick top lane, get countered, and then realize that their team composition is being countered, they lose what I want to call first move or tempo, like if you were playing chess, which is the ability to bring that last punish that red side has to your opposition. Instead, they're scrambling to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I really do. Like, going back to the Galio, I love playing Galio. Such a fun champion, and I don't even play mid lane that much. But also, Galio does still have that bit of flex as well. Like, it just like almost everybody on the Phantoms draft does have the ability to flex. You know, you can go Swain mid, Swain top. Volibear can go top, support, jungle. More likely, he'll be jungle in this game. But it's great to see. You know, you never know exactly where everybody is going to be going.
And I think that that's really part of the reason why we see the Volibear priority from the Phantoms, right? Is that flexibility that it has. And now we're going to start to get to see where the actual lane assignments are. Of course, there is the possibility to flex. I'm fully expecting this to be a Mordekaiser, and it's really up to that Galio Swain that I feel like are the flexible picks once we get into the second round here.
Yeah, I might have gotten some head turns when I said Volibear could be support, but you know, it's nothing's impossible. I've seen like any champion can be played anywhere. It might not be the best spot for them, but it still is possible.
I'm telling you what, I used to play a lot of Ashe jungle. That is a fun champion. Not if you want. Yeah, it's not as fun if you want to see the game in full color, but other than that, it actually feels really good. It looks like it is going to be the Galio mid temporarily here for Yuki, and I am kind of sad to see him on this pick. I'd almost rather the Swain here. Unfortunately, Swain not having that great of a matchup into Fizz, maybe feeling like Galio can neutralize that more, but Yuki, player of the game last game, is going to struggle to make those very same plays on something like a Galio, who's much more of a defensive pick, not only in the context of the composition, but just as a champion.
Yeah, I would love to see someone do Fasting Senna with Galio. That would be such a devastating lane, depending on what you do pick as a mid laner. Because most of the time when people do Fasting Senna, you do typically see a Tahm Kench, sometimes a Braum, Leona even I've seen, but it's still like Galio is, I personally think, is still one of their stronger picks, because with both of those champs, Senna and Galio in one lane, there's just so much engage, there's so much just kill potential. It's easy to set up ganks because there is the Galio taunt that knock up the slow if he brings ignite or not ignite, exhaust, and just there's so much I can go into it.
Yeah, that being said, though, I mean, I don't feel like this bot lane lacks for that kill potential either. Varus is absolutely dominant, and it's going to be our chance to see what Inferno D can do in the bot side, whereas Brecci, again, is the player that I'm looking at to make things happen. Cyan, very, very squishy, and Swain excels at pumping out a lot of damage in a short amount of time, especially when coupled with somebody like the Ashe who can chase you down. The predictions, though, the polls are going to be in the chat right now. Once again, I will be sitting this one out, but go ahead and throw your votes in there for us on the caster desk. No, I know I can play. I just I'm a little bit focused right now. Exactly. So I'd love it if we could get some folks voting out there for me. Pick who you think is going to win. You know, throw it out there right now. I feel like we've got a lot of options both ways because, like we said, Phantoms, they've got themselves another composition that they won with last game, but this time so much more of the game is going to be on Brave Carcass's shoulders. And on the other side of that, Vipers, of course, very strong side lane, very explosive team composition.
I'm actually going into a sneezing fit, so you can take over for another minute.
Okay. I think that something else that I'll mention while my co-caster is suffering is that Vipers might suffer from a lack of tank in this game, and that's really the weakness that I see with their composition. They are dedicating themselves to a 1-3-1. They're dedicating themselves to being ahead and being able to get these picks. They need to be controlling the vision that we saw Phantoms not do last game, but again, I haven't seen Vipers yet. It might be their vision control isn't right there either. But if they do start getting behind, if Red Yuki is able to make something happen, if Brecki starts popping off, suddenly the fact that you have no tank actually becomes a death sentence for Vipers, and they're betting with this team composition that Phantoms isn't going to be able to find the advantages that they found last game. But at the same time, you can't count out a roster that you've never played against.
That is true. Also, I'd like to bring up that, again, like last game, both teams have major snowball potential. Especially with the Fiora, Fizz, and the Varus. If any of those get behind, it's not going to be easy for the rest of the team. Especially the Fiora, because Fiora is probably one of the hardest champions to stop when they are ahead and doing damage and just taking all the farm, clearing super fast, especially when Fiora gets that TMF. It's just insane to see that a lot of matchups that are going on tonight, even on the games that aren't being streamed, have a lot of snowball potential. Or champions that have a lot of snowball potential.
Yeah, and I expect that we see a bit of focus towards that Fiora because she should inherently win the matchup into Mordekaiser. Fiora has a super favorable matchup there, and honestly will start destroying King unless he outplays her ridiculously, or we see a lot of jungle attention. Sir Knight obviously able to counter gank, but what I expect that turns into is Fiora hopefully absorbing quite a bit of pressure, and then Goofs being able to get that boon from his jungler, get Sir Knight to the mid lane, because if he starts blowing up this Galio, we talked about Fizz being so problematic to deal with. There's really no way to lock him down, to shut down this champion on the side of Phantoms despite their tank line, because he can blow any of them up if he gets ahead. If you could take down Galio, my friend, you can take down anyone.
Yeah, because yeah, there's a lot of map potential or a lot of roam potential on both sides, because like you said, Fizz has a lot of mobility, or I said that as well. Vi, it can just be anywhere at once due to just that punch ability, just go over walls, and her ultimate too. Galio with his ultimate, Ash with the arrow, Volibear can just run Mordekaiser's TP. I hope Galio brought TP this game instead of Ignite, because that would also add so much more pressure.
Yeah, Ignite would be a sort of odd choice here, and as we are loading in here, we get the chance to check out all those mastery points, but additionally the fact that Galio will have the teleport and the aftershock. This is a neutralizing lane if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Remember how I mentioned Inferno D does practice Varus quite a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that 515,000 mastery score?
Okay, let's go.
Nami just shy of 300k mastery points. The synergy is real.
You had mentioned that this bot lane likes to play together a lot, and I expect they've played this combination before. And I mean, I want to check out the Swain as well, because Swain is a champion that, like I said, has the potential to punish this. But other than that, it feels like Vipers, at least if you go by LPL standards of Varus being a priority winning pick into almost any lane, are going to have the run of the lane for the first bit. It is going to be up to them to control it. And Lendul, he's got to pay attention to topside. Like we said, Fiora wins this matchup. If you leave it alone, Shu is going to start popping off. But can Lendul be in two places at once? The answer is no. I don't even want to leave that up to suspicion. He doesn't have teleport. He doesn't have duplicate or whatever odd summoner spell is going to be put in the game next.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get some old items back. I would love to see Force of Nature be put back in the game, or even the Golden Spatula. Even though, who would take the time to build a Golden Spatula?
I would take the time to build a Golden Spatula.
You would wait to gain 7,437 gold?
Yep, we are all paused at 5 here as we are loading into the game, contemplating our golden spatulas respectively. All right, and with that, we are off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. We have unpaused from that 5-second mark, with Phantoms in the top side here, about to be released from the base. And in the bot side, the blue side, Vipers are the ones walking out with a team composition that looks to snowball the early game.
I am really hoping that Lendl does put some more pressure on all corners of the map. looking at it now, he's just running in, or just backing now after dropping a ward in Banana Bush for his red. So he's definitely gonna be starting blue. I would, from how it looks, Vi is probably gonna end up starting red. Might do a level 2 gank if the bot lane does let the Ashe and Swain push up a little bit, because if, like I said, just more and more snowball just makes it easier and easier for
Yeah,
everyone. So.
Lendul is going to be necessitated to make things happen earlier by the composition. And on the other side of that, Vipers, they've got Knight on their team, who has the Vi in his pocket. And as much as he's also necessitated into that sort of doing things earlier role, he can sit back a little bit till that level 6 mark, take a little bit of his time. And Vi, at that point, still has way more explosive potential than Lendul. It's going to need to be literal jungle difference in this early part of the game if we want to see Lendul actually come ahead, not only in terms of jungle tempo, but in terms of his team's goal.
So I was wrong. Lendul is starting on his red, so it's either going to be a very late show up for him in the bot lane, as Sir Knight does take his Krugs, or looks like they're just gonna try and force that Fiora to get ahead, which I would actually love to see, because like that means that they know there's snowball potential in just everything that their team could possibly do. Even though Mordekaiser is a very big lane bully early, Fiora still does have a chance to bully right back.
Yeah, she really does. As right now, I'm just keeping an eye on Brekkie here, because him throwing out the grab from Swain there. The Paralyze will be really of utmost importance in this lane, because it's actually a relatively long cooldown. If he does miss it, which he has the last 3, there's really nothing else in Swain's kit that screams support. You've got to be landing those. You've got to be getting the souls.
I feel like a Morgana might have been a better pick into this lane, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, we grabbed him there.
Yeah, there's the pull, but on the other side of that bubble, going to land onto Brave Carcass, and it looks like he may be turned into one very shortly. Flash forward from Inferno D. Exhaust goes down. He looks for the arrow. Can he find it? Will not manage to get it, but the pull back from Swain pulls him under the tower. Inferno D, he needs to get out of here. The teleport is channeled from Legalio. A nice bubble from Cyan will keep him alive, and it might actually be the Varus living after all of that time. Inferno D looks like he's going to be able to get away. Lendul, though, he's coming down. Flash forward from Red Yuki. He wants this kill so bad, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it. Lendul, he uses the Sky Splitter there under the tower, but the kill's already picked up. Flashes forward for the other one. Cyan and Inferno, they both go down, and a heavy investment from them does not pay off at all. They find themselves indebted to Phantoms.
I'm very surprised that there's a TP that early coming from the Galio. He did chase off Inferno D, which got both summoners from both members of the bot lane, and looks like they only got Brekkie's Ignite, or Exhaust, my apologies, and the game is getting paused.
It's I was gonna meme about what it was, but I realized that we can actually know what it was. Is it looks like we should be getting back into it in just a second. Everybody's accusing each other of being an imposter in the chat, and so everybody watch, because I think I did see Goof's vent during that. But
no matter what, Gurf is always third imposter.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be something we'll keep our eye on. We're watching you, Gurf. In the meantime, though, we are going to be restarting the game after a brief pause. Just want to make sure that we're at the same time here. We should be at around that 3:55 mark right now. There we go. And with that, it's going to be the backs in the bot side here, coming out from Brave Carcass and Brekkie. This is going to allow them to get that early reset with the immense amount of farm that Ashe has over the Varus, hopefully being able to turn around what is a priority lane, as there's already an engage in the top side. He doesn't know that Shu is roaming over just yet. Uses the Sky Splitter to buy a little bit of time, gets himself the shield. Sir Knight walks away worse for wear, but he gets the first rotation onto the Scuttle.
And very, very big plays coming like from everywhere on the map. Scuttles were traded. Top going to blue side, and bot going to red. And how it looks right now, Fiora has been roaming quite a bit, and Mordekaiser is getting ahead slowly. but that probably won't last for very long.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard. And I mean, honestly, King has been forced to use his E defensively almost every single time that we have panned over to this lane. So I'm a little bit dubious of his ability to hold on to a lead. This feels like Shu is allowing him to push out this lane so that he's in a vulnerable position. But we had mentioned Yuki maybe struggling in this game to find the same relevance as he had on the Silas, but just off of that bot play, it doesn't look like he's going to. He's already put his summoner to good use, is feeling pretty good in this lane, is down about the 10 CS off the teleport, but other than that has been able to really be relevant and get Brave Carcass, get Brecky ahead, get this bot lane going so that they can start popping off because they are the real damage this game.
I really do hope that Mordekaiser does get 6 before Fiora, because like that would make it so much easier for him. At least get 1 kill hopefully under his belt before the inevitable Fiora snowball starts going.
Yeah, and right now Shu playing this lane really, really well. I feel like he's controlled the wave well to keep King at a distance here. He's got the poke under the tower. There's no slow push coming in for the Mordekaiser, but at the same time, Shu allowing him to push out ever so slightly, starts to get in his head, starts to deny him a few CS here and there, and there's the level 6, but is denied. The parry from Shu looks immaculate, and he returns with his own ultimate. I don't think he gets a kill here, but the style points he gets from that, incalculable.
That was a fantastic play from Shu. I was really hoping that he would try and bait out the W, but unfortunately that didn't happen. There's many ways that you could just bait that out. Mostly just walking towards them, trying to auto them, just which I've seen actually work quite a lot, but fortunately that didn't happen.
No, unluckily there was really no way for that to be turned around significantly. But level 6 is hit here for Goops as well. No Aftershock for Red Yuki means that we could look for a trade here, but doesn't have the items on the Fizz nor the backup from Sir Knight to feel too comfortable just yet. Fizz, he's going to wait for that moment to shine himself. Reki looking for more hooks in this bot side, isn't going to find them either. It seems like the map has really calmed down from the first time that we saw those ganks. Teleport almost halfway off cooldown, a little bit more from Red Yuki. It means that they can prep for this play again, but I expect the Dragon to be contested a lot earlier than that. Already, we see Brecky clearing out some vision.
Yeah, there's a lot of wards being thrown down onto the Dragon Pit. Before there was a blue ward, or a ward for blue side, just sitting where Scuttle was. That was denied by Red's pink ward, and then there was another yellow ward that was thrown over the wall for blue side, and then there was a control ward for blue side being thrown over the wall. Just trying to get that vision, which is very good to see, because vision wins games.
Yeah, right now it is Phantoms with the superior vision around this bot side. Lendul's going to be able to clear out the ward and Dragon Pit once again. He's sitting at the level 5 right next to Sir Knight, and I think they want to take this before that bot lane hits level 6, because Varus' level 6 is absolutely explosive for these team fights. It looks like they've already found a pick onto Brecky. He might go down here, flash away from him. Inferno D, he has his flash as well, but doesn't want to commit it for this time. Has learned from his mistakes earlier. They'll take the reset being forced onto Brecky here, and perhaps convert that into some sort of advantage elsewhere by already starting up that Dragon, or at least clearing a ward in the pit. I'm going to have to pan over to that one to check myself, as it looks like it is just going to be the ward. But they have the first rotation onto that. They've been able to deny the take from Phantoms here just via that chunk, and now Inferno D has hit 6.
And it looks like right now Sir Knight is taking the Dragon, and Cyan is going over there to assist him, while Lendl is kind of just chilling there, I guess. Not sure what he was doing. Oh, he was waiting for the Ash E. Looks like he might try and go into steal, and there's the After going in.
Enchanted Crystal, we're going to buy a lot of time, but there is the take on the Dragon. Vi picks that one up for herself. Inferno D flashes away, is quite taken quite low, but should be able to trade back here. Lendul has nothing to speak of. No way to get on top of anybody. Stormbringer is off cooldown, but it doesn't even matter. Teleport going to be canceled on the top side. Red Yuki is going to be taken down. Goops gets the kill. That's the Fizz pop-off that we are looking for. Shu, though, he started to take a kind of odd trade in the top side, not looking like he's coming out on top of the Mordekaiser, who already has the Bramble Vest to deny him that healing, ends up getting the better of him. But importantly, the teleport being denied into the bot side means that Shu is lucky to walk away with his life, and it looks like King actually going to get an injection of gold here in the top side. Teleport not available for Shu means at least a plate goes over.
I'm hoping at least 2 plays, considering Shu also did have to burn Flash to try and get away from King.
Yeah, and that flash advantage in the mid lane going to be rather important. Now, Goof's in the mid lane. We spot him, and he's not really doing much except for taking that plate. But I want to mention how big and how important it is that he got a kill. We talked about the Fizz snowball, and oh lord, as soon as I saw his name pop up in the kill feed, I was already, my heart was pounding.
And so it begins.
That's what it feels like, right? And I mean, now that we have all of these other lockdown ultimates on the side of Knight and Inferno, even Cyan, they're going to buy so much space for Goofs, for Shu even, if they choose to go into this more team fight style, which I don't expect them to. But if they manage to, by some miracle, get caught out, there's still going to be so much space bought for these melee carries because of the lockdown, because of the panic that Phantoms are going to have to deal with.
I'm thinking Phantoms still have a very good chance because Sir Knight's one trick is Kane, and like I said before, he is devastating on it. One game on stream, he went 17-1-3 against me.
Oh,
yeah. Needless to say, I cried myself to sleep that night.
Yeah, right now he's just sitting at the 0-0-2 mark for now, but it looks like we could be getting some more fighting in the bot lane. Brave Carcass, he doesn't have enough mana to really continue this fight, though. Doesn't want to be taking it into what is the Berserker Greaves and Vampiric Scepter, giving a lot of sustain over to Inferno D.
From how it looks right now, Lindell might be trying to set up a Herald take as Sir Knight is bot side, walking up to his top.
And right now, like as we continue cutting back over to this top side, actually Inferno D though is going to get engaged on once again. Brecky getting turned around, does have to pop the Demonic Ascension, but he gets popped himself. And oh, Red Yuki, he gets stopped by the wall. Cyan, he has the consolation prize, but they could have gotten two there if Red Yuki had managed to micro that one properly. Unfortunately, Inferno D, he gets himself another kill, puts himself at that 2-1 spot. Ash trading back just in time though, does walk away relatively happy. Not too much worse for wear.
And Lendl did get bullied off of a Rift Herald by Sir Knight and Goops. Very unfortunate, because if he was able to get that, that would have meant that there was still a lot of gold to be gotten from those plates, as they're still up for 2 more minutes.
And they might be able to use the Rift Herald here to try and punish some of those plates. They're spotted though. The Soul not going to come through, but there's Lendl. He's in the middle of everyone. Manages not to grab the Rift Herald, but does manage to die himself and buys a lot of time for the rest of the bruisers. Brecky has shown up as well. No Demonic Ascension is available, but Shu, he's going to go down right after this. Goofs left alone with the Mordekaiser going to be smacked down as well. Ooh. That's a triple kill for King around the Rift Herald. And yes, they lose that objective. Do they lose that objective? Because they pick up the knife?
No, wait. Yeah, no one picked it up.
No one has it.
Sure. I'm not even sure who got that.
Everyone loses but King.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what team slayed it.
I mean, I saw Vi. Yeah, Vi killed it. Otherwise, Mordekaiser would have picked it up. Okay, but then I guess she just died fast enough, or wasn't in place.
It looks like Bonley might have a little engage going in.
Yeah, Brecky, he's looking for those hooks. Feeling himself this game, despite the fact that he's been engaged on over and over. He's now sitting at the 0-1-5 mark. And on the other side of that, unfortunately, I was hoping for the call out. Cyan, I wanted to call him out as 007, but unfortunately is going to be already sitting at the 0-2-3, denying us our dreams here. We'll see when it adds up to 7, and maybe that'll give us something here. But Sir Knight going to be back to clear, and it looks like we're in a little bit of a lull state.
Yeah. Looks like both teams are going to be trying to set up for Dragon, but right now, how it looks, I guess Phantoms are winning in the Vision fight.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing quite well. It's a big turnaround from game 1.
Yeah, even though they did have some very good vision in game 1, and it is still early in this one. Plates are falling in about 5 seconds for us, but yeah, it looks like Goose is going to be trying to clear out the vision, because that bot river is lit up like a Christmas tree for the side of Phantoms.
It is, and now that we have the Dragon spawned as well, it's going to be really their prerogative to try and take this. Drake, the Wind Soul, going to be hyper valuable on the side of Vipers, even if it's, sorry, not the Soul, the Dragon, going to be hyper valuable because of the cooldown reduction that it gives to them and the value that their ultimates provide to the side of Vipers. As Shu getting bullied a little bit in the top side now, hasn't hit the item breakpoint for himself yet, so will be dictated to this dictated to by this Mordekaiser for just a little while longer, and Phantoms, they should have the run of the bot side for now. King has his teleport up, should be able to deny Shoes the same way, but Inferno D, he lands the chains, then Cyan takes him down with the tidal wave in the bot side. Left alone is the Ashes. In the meantime, Goofs and Knight, they're in a little bit of a risky spot. Don't see the threat that they're under, but now it's going to be spotted up. This could be the collapse. There's the flash forward from Knight. They want to take down Lendl before it's too late. 3 members on it means that his health bar is short work there, and now that is first rotation onto the Dragon for Vipers if they want it. Brecky, he pops the Demonic Ascension but can't find anything with it. Could just be blown up here if he steps too far forward. Has to be very careful. Shu doesn't need to teleport just yet because his team, they've already won the fight at this point. The Dragon is a foregone conclusion, and Vipers, they've got a small gold lead, but the lead is really in these neutral objectives.
Yeah, that Dragon is definitely going to spell devastation, and it looks like it is going to be a Mountain Drake. So for both teams still, that is still going to be a very good soul to get. But right now, that Mountain Drake and Infernal are definitely going to get put to some good use, considering the ultimates, like you said, for the Vipers are already very detrimental for their team comp in general. Looking at it, Chum in the Waters has a relatively short cooldown, and now it's just above a minute.
Yeah, that is going to be absolutely disgusting for Goof. Sitting at 1-1 and 2 now, very slowly building himself up the items, has pivoted briefly into the Sheen after going for what looked like a proto belt, going to be denied from us for just a little while longer. And I like that Vipers, as much as their team comp is early, they're waiting on these item spikes. They know that they have the ability to fight around these dragons, but the fact that we see somebody like I Am Shu go for the Merc Treads before finishing his Hydra, which he just did, as well as Fizz itemizing into multiple items here, is going to sort of open them up for that mid-game spike as opposed to a heavier early-game spike.
Yeah. Talking about the top lane, I'm still very proud about how King is keeping up with the Fiora. He has Leandri's Torment, Ninja Tabbies, and a Bramble Vest to just the Ravenous Hydra and Merc Treads on the Fiora.
Oh, Brecky, though, he pops the Demonic Ascension. Can they take down Inferno D in time? Zanya's going to buy a little bit more, but Shu, he's teleported down to the bot side. Brecky tries to solo out Inferno D, but gets exhausted. The teleport into the bot side might be in time to save, but Shu, he reflects the ultimate once again, going to take the double kill onto the Ashe. Can he survive this 3-0 Mordekaiser? This guy's a monster, flashing forward, gets the shutdown onto the Fiora, but now Galio's coming in on top of him. Can he survive for even longer? Gets another kill for himself. The heal is incredible. King, he is looking for Cyan here, but he needs to turn around onto Knight. The King, he looks to take him down, pulls him right back out of the dash. Cyan lands the bubble, but that is just about it. With Goofs, though, he's roaming down. He needs to be able to find something off of this. This play has gone horrifically for the side of the Vipers, and it feels like there's really nothing to be done. Lendl, he's not even there.
Oh, man, that... what an insane teleport going down for King. Picks up another triple kill. Oh, that's... Those are the types of plays that definitely changed the game. That definitely brought their gold lead back up, even if it is just by 100.
The Galio ult buys so much time, and everybody is just standing. And like you mentioned, the complete Leandries for King means that he's under zero threat at all. Gets to put out so much damage, and his shield being charged up off that gets to heal him up. There's no way for them to have the DPS to take him down. So much invested into Brecky and Brave Carcass, and they buy so much time here. Brecky, though, it looks like he might be taken down. There's a lot of that % health damage coming down with the Blade of the Rune King. Inferno G, he looks for it. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, though, and he's extended too far forward. The synergy doesn't matter if Cyan isn't there. Finds himself at 2, 3, and 5. King, he put him in a hole, and he digs it deeper himself.
I just want to keep talking about this Mordekaiser because he is doing phenomenal considering how the rest of his team is doing. He's 6-0-0, has a complete Leandries, Tabbies, and a Bramble Vest, and it looks like he is gonna be starting to build a Shirala's Scepter.
Yeah, Rylai's Crystal Scepter should be the next item for him, I expect. Is going to give him a lot of tankiness, going to give him a lot of slows, and it's going to make life for the Viper so much harder, as it looks like they've been trying to walk through this Mordekaiser. Focusing Mordekaiser really doesn't feel like an option, and he wants to take the fight into shoot. Brecky, though, he lands the hook, doesn't get the vision on Goofs just in time, and he's going to get blown up. The flash forward from Goofs going to finish him off before he can get pulled up and rooted down. Cyan is going to help clear that ward, but good lord, Goofs is the one that I'm looking at. He has the completed Proto Belt now, looking for the Lich Bane next. This guy is going to be no slouch when it comes to damage, when it comes to taking down the AD carry.
Very unfortunate positioning there for Brecky.
And it feels like he's been, never mind, as we're going to pause for a moment to mourn Brave Carcass as he is put into the ground, gently and aggressively at the same time. But
it's killing me softly.
I know, exactly. It really, that hurt to watch, because you know that as soon as the CC lands, you're dead. There's really nothing that you can do. And now that the Ashe has already died, despite the fact that you have a 6-0 Mordekaiser, it looks like this is just going to be the next dragon going over to the side of Vipers. No teleport available for King, and that should spell soul point here.
Ashe is up in 1 second. Maybe she might be able to get this steal with her ultimate if she times it just right.
Rendul's got the Sky Splitter. He needs to find the smite here, but he doesn't find it. Vi manages to get it as well. King not going to be able to hook over the wall. In the meantime, though, Galio finds himself a kill onto Cyan. They get away with the dragon there. And the response from Inferno as he blows up Brecky. My man, once again, you were positioning a little bit too far forward into Inferno. He may be down in the KDA, but he is feeling himself this game. Lendul taking a little bit of damage himself as well. Inferno managing his spacing nicely. Needs to keep away from King, though. The pulse should be available quite soon. Lendul still buying a little bit of time as Red Yuki looks for the taunt over the wall. Not going to find anything. And now we're all going to retreat back here. But in the meantime, look at Shu.
Oh, he took 2 towers in the time it took for that dragon fight. But that is very big for him, because it looks like he's going to be building towards that Trinity Force next.
And that's actually absolutely massive, not only because of the gold that it provides, but because it puts Vipers in a position where now with 2 turrets gone, their win condition of that side lane is actually unlocked. Granted, we haven't seen too much side lane of the 6-0 Mordekaiser against the 4-2 Fiora, but if Fiora can split push when Mordekaiser is forced to group up like he is, it doesn't matter that Mordekaiser's ahead. You can stall and you can still take their base.
Yeah, in my mind, I was staring at that phage, and the first thing I thought of was Trinity Force, and I was hoping that she would prove me wrong and go for the Black Cleaver, but he outright bought a Sheen and a Stinger, so...
I like the Trinity Force pickup here for the Fiora. Is going to empower those Sheen procs as well, and we'll see what she chooses to go and do next, as well as whether the Trinity Force is going to be enough, and whether that is sort of the item spike that turns this around, because the Rylai's Crystal Scepter also picked up for King here means that both of the top laners are spiking at the same time, but it doesn't even look like Fiora is going to be laning against Mordekaiser. Red Yuki instead rotating to clear out the waves that she's pushing, and has the Proto Belt himself, which will help him clear it out. And now Phantoms, looks like Baron is next on the menu. They need to not lose anyone before this objective, though, because that's what has been losing them these.
What they really need right now is Galio to finish that Zhonya's Hourglass. If he gets that, then that's a very big power spike. Even though for how he's set up, he's not necessarily behind, but also not necessarily ahead.
Yeah, with him being able to, I want to say, buy even more time with the Zhonya's Hourglass, I think Red Yuki could be a really key factor in these fights. The amount of AoE zoning that he provides is going to be really big, but it looks like not only zoning he's providing, but Engage has a huge wave, sweeps across the team, picks up everybody in Brave Carcass, almost goes down into the tower, but manages to get away. Knight, he goes down instead, but a nice snipe from downtown. Inferno D cleans up a kill back onto Breck. He's been taking him down all game. Yuki, he taunts just to save the life of his top laner, but Lendul, he's not done with this fight yet either, is going to be exhausted. King, he pulls an Inferno D, chunks him, but does not have the damage nor the tankiness to continue this fight. Vipers, they walk all over that fight. They play the spacing appropriately. They get the knockups. They get themselves a tower, and what more can they find here?
I think right now this game might be on its last legs. It looks like Vipers did prevail, proving that they are the top team in the LAS draft. There's still a lot of game left, but from how it looks right now, it might be too late for the Phantoms.
I do think that play really did demonstrate how strong they are, but there is still, importantly, a world where Phantoms win fights, because King is ridiculously strong. Yes, they're going to struggle to enable him, and yes, it requires Vipers to be in a little bit of a bad position, but Inferno, he's not by any means ahead either, has himself the 300 gold bounty, but it is nothing compared to when you get Mordekaiser ulted, and I mean, that is really something that you got to be careful of. Brave Carcass managed to survive going into the tower that game, and he got a return kill still into the dive of both Goofs and Knight. There is a way for Phantoms to win these fights, and to me at least, the game is by no means over just yet.
Again, going back to the vision scores, a little bit pitiful on both sides. I'm honestly very upset looking at the personal visions. Blue side has no vision on the opposite side of the map, but red side has all the vision everywhere on their side of the map.
Yeah, and it might end up being something like that Baron play again, because, you know, we look at the top side of the map that you just mentioned, no vision around that objective. It is coming up next, but look at this. This is Soul, and it feels like Phantoms need to contest this. Yuki is sitting in a brush. He's sitting on a ward, though. Doesn't know that he's spotted. King is going to walk in here and zone them out with his presence, and hopefully the rest of the team manages to get here in time, because the zoning from King is only going to last so long, and the timer is ticking as Fiora's pushing in the top side. Even if Phantoms get this dragon, they might lose their base for it.
Oh man, Fiora is just Fiora. That's all I can say. There's some champions that you can't even describe about how either good they are or just generally OP they are.
But Vipers are winning right now. A fight has to be started, but Brave Carcass looks like it's going to be started by the Vipers. Goof takes down the Ashe, and now Lendl, he's trying to trade back, but flash over the wall from Inferno, and Cyan gonna clean up the 6-0 King, putting him at 6-1. Then Lendl goes down to the buy punch. Brecci, everybody wants that kill, aren't gonna get it, but they're gonna get the dragon. They're going to get the inhibitor, and they win so convincingly. We see Phantoms just sitting around there. They want to start a fight, but they don't know how. Vipers say, "Yeah, we'll show you how." They start the fight. Shu, he's taken the Nexus turrets at this point. Should be able to find himself at least one and get out completely unscathed here. Is going to have to back off, but this Fiora, she is a monster.
Fiora is Fiora, man.
and I think
Not even Fiora got to the snowball point of her gameplay. It's just the fact that no one was there to contest her. It was very good for King to be there in the in the pit with his team, but he couldn't do anything because no one wanted to start the fight. Because even if they just get a pick onto Inferno D, or even just take down Goose before anyone on their team got wrecked, that would have been a one fight. But because of that, they lost. They lost an inhib and Nexus Tower and
Inferno D has no flash, and he gets flashed on by Lendl. It looks like this should be the bot lane paying with their lives. Fiora isn't on the map right now, and Inferno D is put into the death realm. Should be taken down with the smackaroo here, but Mordekaiser, he can just stand on top of you and auto you, my friend. Now, he is 7-1. So isn't as impressive as that 6-0 that we saw earlier, but has managed to reassert his dominance onto the AD carry, who importantly got the shutdown onto him as well, has the Gwinsu's Rage Blade in his pocket. This Varus is going to be able to apply so much damage across the composition that, like we mentioned, is that bruiser comp. But the Blade of the Rune King, the Gwinsu's, the Runeends means that he can sit behind them and melt them. I am Shu. He gets the stun there, is going to be able to walk himself away from this one. He and Goof's going to be able to zone out around this Baron that just moments ago was Phantoms.
Yeah, looking at itemization, looks like Inferno D has the Bork as, like, he got that very early on, as mentioned. He also does have the Ginsu's and the Runeans, his finished boots, I would hope by now, and it's unknown what he's gonna go next. I really hope he goes Edge of Night, because even though he isn't building full lethality, that will still make a very big difference because of that magic shield.
Yeah, that actually might be something that he can look towards just to provide him that extra amount of safety, because the rest of his build obviously going to be very effective. But now it looks like his build also going to come into effect. For Inferno D, he has the Blade of the Ruin King plus the Gwinsus, which is not only good at shredding through tanks, but also at shredding through Baron and Vipers. They started this one up.
Yeah, looking at Volibear, he does not have any magic resist. Not very good considering how big this Fizz is.
Teleport from the Fiora isn't going to be denied in time, means that Shu is here. King is not. King's teleporting on the flank. Maybe they look to clean out this Baron afterwards. Isn't spotted just yet, but the turn onto 4 members might be enough. They blow up 1, they blow up 2. No support, no jungler, and now King, yes, he's in the middle of 4 members, but he can't manage to get anything done. Wants to take down Knight in the meantime, but this might be all he gets. Is going to pop out of the Death Realm with the kill on the Vibe, but that is all she wrote. Gets shut down himself. Double kill for the Bears, but more importantly, the ace for Vipers means they get this Baron and they trade only 1 kill for it.
Ooh, very big fight there for Vipers. They started the Baron. Looked like it could have ended badly for them considering they lost their Knight, but fortunately for them, they were able to just dismiss the rest of the Phantoms.
Yeah, right now they've been turned into those Phantoms, right?
Yeah.
Vipers have been, I want to say, very much to their namesake, able to strike quickly and decisively, and this game is really looking like a poet, like a poet has described what is happening in it, because they've been able to bide their time, and now Vipers, they are able to strike in really deadly fashion. I am Shu not even going to be punished for this. It looks like Lenful, he wants to find a way in, but doesn't have the flash, and Jenna Crystalero going to connect. They might be able to find a punish here, but Ashe gets deleted. Left alone with Goops is he, and no chance there. Varus is traded back by Lenful, but now the rest of the damage really becomes apparent because a triple kill is here. For Gurp finally gets shut down by the Galio, and Sir Knight, he's dueling King. He doesn't win this fight by any means, doesn't even get to dash out. Cyan cleans up a kill onto Galio, of all people, and a double kill for the Mordekaiser actually spells the end of almost every single Baron on the side of Vipers.
And even though Baron is still on the Nami, that still doesn't really help him a lot considering Nami did back up. And like that could have been a retake of the inhibitor. If Nami did stick around, because King did need to clear the minions off of that last tower, the last thing that's holding them in this game.
It is not the end of the world, though, because Nami at least has the Baron, will be able to go towards that bot side, and I don't even think they have to play for lanes here. They can play for team fights, because look what's spawning in a minute. It's going to be the Elder Dragon. They can leave Fiora top. They can play that game of, do you really want to fight us here? And just wait around for Fiora to solo win the game.
Yeah, right now the Phantoms do need to fight here. If they want any shred of clawing their way back into this game, they need to take that Elder Drake. Because if they don't, then that's it. They might as well FF, which they cannot do on stream, unfortunately. But it's just that's the only way that they will be able to come back from this.
Inferno D so aggressive with his positioning, it doesn't even matter. Puppey pops up, but it doesn't hit anybody. Lendul, he's going to be caught out in his own jungle as well. The snowball effect here is I Am Shu. They're trying to kill at least him. Isn't going to be able to riposte the ultimate this time, but he might just kill King in his own ultimate. Goes quite low. Might he be able to survive? No, he will not. But on the other side, Goops is waiting for the Mordekaiser. Gets the pick onto him. Yuki is the last one left alive, but it doesn't even matter. Vipers, they've turned their sights onto the last remaining Nexus turret. Goofy wants to be able to pick up this Galio, or at least delay him for a little while longer, but Inferno D, he's having none of that. He finishes off the game, and Vipers, they take the 1-0 against Phantoms here.
Ooh. That was a very good reprio on the side of the Vipers. Like after, they like the last person left on the Phantoms was distracted. They just said, "All right, let's just go end. We don't need minions."
Yeah, and that was really nicely played from them. Honestly, from beginning to end, we saw them getting behind a little bit in that bot side. Really nice attention from Yuki and King there, but all of the kills go on to King in the top side, and they're not able to convert with that advantage. They're not able to force any fights. There's no real engage here as long as as long as the positioning is managed appropriately. And Inferno D certainly able to manage his positioning appropriately. They get the win in the end. They hit their item spikes, and Vipers, they look like their macro is clean coming off this one.
Definitely an Inferno D diff coming out of this game. Look at those damage charts. 38,220 damage.
And that's after a teleport at like 5 minutes into the bot side, followed by several ganks. There's no way to keep this duo down, it looks like, because Inferno D, he hits the item spikes and he's just able to pump out damage across these bruisers.
Just, man, beautiful game.
Yes,
Played from the Vipers. Like, considering they were down for at least 5 minutes in the beginning, it turned around so fast for them, and it turned into something beautiful.
And importantly, Phantoms as well, showing very much signs of life. We saw them with a great game for our first game of the night, and they've come back here and looked really good for the first couple minutes. It just ended up being that their team composition didn't have an answer to what Vipers wanted to do, and there was no real way for them to claw their way back into the game, especially once that top tier 2 Fat Tower fell, once the base was broken. It felt like the macro pressure was too much for them. But in the meantime, I'm going to throw this one back to Gurf. Maybe he has some additional insights for us, but I want to hear what you have to say about this game, Gurf, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Hello from the other side, guys, and thank you to our lovely casting team. Vipers coming through, and again, like they said, showing us why they are that #1 team at 12-2 now. So they're up in the standings now. Congratulations to them. But yeah, so many good points made about this team. You know, the fact that we're talking about the Inferno D show. He was massive. I am a massive fan of the Nami. So pairing that with any sort of poke ADC is a super good option for any team, any bot lane that you really want, right? You have that poke, you have that ability to keep away and the utility to stay sustained, while you have 3 more divey champions in your composition, the Vi, the Fiora, the Fizz. So lots of options to at least space yourself out and pump out that damage. But yeah, that's a really good composition there from Inferno D and Cyan. Even something like a Jhin would have worked in this too. It's just really nice to have that ability to buffer some distance between you. And thank you. There's one of our caster members. Tossing the follow. Thank you very much. But yeah, some incredible stuff here from both sides, really. If we're going to be talking about anyone, it's King up in that top lane. Just having a massive game in the Mordekaiser all through until basically the late game. He was 1v3. He got 2 triple kills back to back. What more can you say about that? The man was a beast. But it is the Vipers that come out on top. And one big thing that we've talked about so many times is that objective game. They bide their time. They wait until they are at that point when they can start fighting. And we start seeing it. They started winning fights, then they really started winning fights, but their goal was never, okay, we're just here to take everybody out. We saw the split push coming through from Shu, and we saw the priority being, we're going for towers. So that is something that a lot of our teams across the leagues, we see in the winning teams very frequently. Those top tier teams are playing that objective game, focusing the towers down, making sure, we've seen it a few times now, that split push coming out, but that's really the name of the game right now. Objectives are what win games, and we're seeing it here from our new #1 team here in the LAS draft. So guys, we are about to wrap things up, but before we do that, we need to vote for a player of the game. So make sure to get those votes up and going. Actually, that's my responsibility to get that going. So player of the game poll is up for you guys right now. You can see it down below here in chat. So start putting those votes in. Vote for who you think deserves player of the game after that one. And I think we have a good idea of who it's going to be. SOC Gavin starting us off strong. All right. Well, guys, we will see you after this break. We're going to run a couple ads, so we'll appreciate if you stick around for those. But after that, we'll announce the player of the game, announce some upcoming games we have tomorrow, and of course, ender out with a little raffle at the end for some tokens. So guys, we'll see you in a few seconds. Alrighty, welcome back. You guys had a treat tonight, and my goodness, what a couple of games. We see the return of the Phantoms. They take down the Outlaws. They are now, last we heard from, tied with the Outlaws, depending on how their game went. We're going to have to see where these standings end up. But it is Vipers sliding into that first place spot. First place spot. I can speak. I swear to God. I can do it. But yeah, really showing us what the name of the game is. It's objectives. It is towers. It is not going for those big fights every single time. Sometimes they're pretty good to go for. But it's the insane split pushing and, you know, focusing those heralds, getting those early towers. That's where we saw the Vipers really excel and just turn this game around. But we had a vote for player of the game, and you guys have chosen. There was a close couple calls, but this one ended up taking it near the end of that one, and that's gonna be none other than our Inferno D, going 10, 5, and 14 on the Varus. Really impressive stuff. Very impressive damage graph. Congratulations, Inferno D, and congratulations, Vipers, on getting that first place spot. Shu, you have player of the game in my heart, because that split push, like our casters were saying, was one of the big reasons why you guys won this game. You unlocked that win condition for the Vipers, and that was a big reason there. So, you know what? I got you, Shu. Anyways, guys, that is going to conclude things here tonight. So, this week, it will be your boy streaming the next 2 nights. So we have our LRS draft tomorrow night. The games are going to be on the end screen so you can see who's playing. But a couple of big names coming through again. And I'm looking forward to be casting tomorrow alongside a couple of old faces and a couple of new faces. Well, not a couple. One old face and one new face. But it's going to be a good time, guys. I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't already, make sure to head on over to our merch shop. Pick yourself up something nice. Go and grab yourself something nice. Treat yourself. That's all I got to say. There's some fancy looking things in there. My sweater is hanging up right over there. I can't wait to be just nice and cozy in it this wonderful, wonderful fall. So, gonna be a good time. Also, don't forget that our VODs will be live on our YouTube channel approximately 24 hours after right now. So make sure to go on over on there and check those out. Good to do a little VOD review, do a little homework on the upcoming teams you're facing. But that will conclude week 7 here of the LAS Amateur, the League of Legends Amateur Series Draft League. I want to thank our casters tonight. They did a fantastic job. Looking forward to working with them again. But guys, that'll be it from me tonight. Flip Trick, unless you're out there and you want me to say anything, we got that's it for us tonight. As you might notice, I got a lovely little green screen, so we're up in that production game. And don't you worry, we got a few secrets still left up our sleeve, and those will be coming this playoffs. A few you know, keep it quiet, but I got something saved very special for you guys. So anyways, thanks for playing along. Thanks for having fun with us tonight, guys. I'm going to start up that raffle as we end out the stream. So make sure to just use the command for your chance to win some tokens. I forgot to do one between our games, so we're going to have to do a double the points, you know? So 300 tokens there. Why the hell not? Gurf not sus. Gurf isn't sus. No, dude, it's not me. Anyways, go ahead. Best of luck on the raffle. Guys, looking forward to see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST, same place. You know where to find me. Guys, can't wait. Thank you again for tuning in. Love all your faces, and we will see you tomorrow night on the channel. Take care.